Hello, hello, hello. It's Dr. Amy here, and today I have a finance lesson for you. And I want you to come in because I'm gonna spend some time on this lesson today, and it's one that's needed today for our finance lesson. I'm talking about estate planning and how you can use estate planning as a part of your wealth building plan. All right. So today I'm going to dive in and talk about estate planning and give you some essential things that you need to do. And first of all, why is estate planning considered a finance topic? I hope you know that it is a finance topic because it involves managing and organizing and having control over your financial affairs and assets now to ensure your desired distribution and perseveration, to save yourself later on, right? I don't know why I can't speak today. So the whole estate planning encompasses various financial aspects such as creating your will, establishing trusts, and designating your beneficiaries. And the big one is minimizing estate taxes and planning for the transfer of your wealth. But I'll get into all of that a little later in this post, but it's considered a finance topic also because estate planning involves considering the financial implications of transferring your assets. So I had someone tell me the other day, we're talking about estate planning, and they were like, oh, well, isn't that for the super, ultra rich and wealthy? Well, estate planning is for everybody because you could have lots of money, little bit of money or whatever, but if you don't do proper estate planning, your account is going to go through probate. And I'll tell you a little bit about exactly what probate is. It's really where the government is getting involved, and you may have to pay an expensive attorney on the end, and it eats into the money that you already have. So I am a certified estate planner, and I work directly with attorneys who on the front end is a lot less expensive to set up an estate plan than to wait until something happens. And if you don't believe me, ask or speak to someone who unfortunately lost a loved one. If you don't do some of these things and put some of these things in place that I'm going to talk about today, you can go through a lengthy probate process. All right. So, and talking about estate planning today, some of the things that I'm going to cover is the benefits and the purpose of having an estate plan, the components of an estate plan, excuse me, and then how to avoid probate using some of the different types of trust. All right, so it's also important to note that estate planning strategies to bypass probate should be implemented carefully and in consultation with a legal and or a financial professional who know what they're talking about. All right. So this is something that's very important. And although I'm telling you things that you can do, it's also important to know and understand that certain states do things differently. So even if you have an estate plan, some assets still need to go through probate if they were not properly titled or properly designated. So that's one of the things that's important because for me, I've had my estate plan and trust set up probably over 20 years ago, but I realized that I never funded it. So that's where I'm helping a lot of people to actually transfer things into the trust that they actually have. So that's why I'm doing this session today, because and starting in January, we are bringing that service back to my business management company. And if you've been thinking about it, this is the time to get in touch with me. Trust and believe us, it will be a lot less expensive to go through our service, right? Because if you go through an attorney like I did originally, which we use attorneys too, it's a one-time hit thing. I don't even, to be honest with you, I don't even know where my original trust is. But what we do now is we make sure it's online where you can always have access to it. So let's get into exactly what is estate planning. If you don't know, just quickly, it's just a process that aims to protect and preserve wealth. That's it. That's all it's doing. It's a way to minimize taxes, provide for dependents, and ensure that your wishes are carried out according to your intentions, right? So, you even something as simple as you might have a life insurance policy and leave it to your children. And before you know it, the money is gone, and 10, 20 years down the line, they're broke. So it allows you to control that even when you're gone. So it's a process of organizing your financial situation through legal documents. All right. So some of the common components of estate planning, which you may know about, is having a will. And a will is just a legal document that outlines exactly how you want your assets to be distributed. Another part of estate planning is a trust. And I'll go into specifically 3 types of trusts that you could use. 2 of them you should have right now. And if you don't have it, I would say give me a call as soon as possible. But a trust is a legal arrangement where your assets are transferred to a trustee to be managed for the benefit of your designated beneficiary. So having a certain type of trust, you can control the trustee can control all of your assets, and this helps to minimize taxes, protect your assets, and provide for ongoing financial support for your beneficiaries. But a will, a trust, power of attorney, that's something, that legal document. Advanced directives, that's another thing that'll be a part of your that will be a part of your estate planning. An advanced directive is just a legal document that outlines exactly your wishes regarding medical treatment and or end of life care in case you become incapacitated, right? So that advanced directive is very important. Another component is that beneficiary designation. Who actually gets what? You get to, put on your bank account, your retirement account, your life insurance policy to ensure that these assets pass directly to the intended beneficiary outside of probate, right? If you have bank accounts and you don't have a beneficiary on it, it's going to go through probate. So something as simple as that, make sure now you designate a beneficiary, then that part will not have to go through probate. Another part of the whole process is a letter of intent. That's something that I know a lot of people tend not to do. That one is that binding document that provides guidance and instructions to family members and loved ones regarding the disposition of all of the personal property and other non-financial matters. And then 2, that's a little newer that people don't think about, is your digital asset plan. If you don't have that, that's the plan that identifies and provides access to all your digital assets, like your social media account, your online bank account, your digital photos in case of you get incapacitated or you pass away. So that digital asset plan is a part of it. And then if you have a business, small business, big business, medium-sized business, you need to have a business succession plan, like a plan that outlines how your business should be transferred or sold upon your death or your retirement, right? So that's something that's very important. Those are the components of that estate plan. And yes, you will outline how your assets should be handled, who should inherit them, and who should make decisions on your behalf in case you are incapacitated. All right. Now let's talk quickly about some of the benefits of estate planning. Number 1 is asset protection. You want to protect your assets by safeguarding them from creditors, by safeguarding them from lawsuits, and safeguarding them from potential risks. That's one of the main benefit of estate planning. The second is you want to do whatever you can to avoid probate. So that's the second big benefit. The probate process, it's a legal procedure that takes place after someone passes away. And really what it is a way to validate the deceased person's will, if one exists, identifying and appraising all of their assets and paying off their outstanding debts, taxes, all of that stuff. But the purpose of estate planning is to avoid probate. The third one is to minimize taxes, right? Ensuring your family harmony. That's something that's important. And then protecting those minor or incapacitated children or beneficiaries. Those are the things that are very important. Those are the benefits of having estate planning. Now, how do you actually bypass probate? Do you know that you can bypass probate? And I don't know if anybody listening in has ever heard of or been a part of going through probate with a family member. It's stressful. Well, you can actually bypass probate. So let me share some of these things. This one I think is worth you jotting down. And one of the first things that I want to say is if you are married, you can also, there's some things that you can do to bypass probate. Now, I know some states have things that's a little different, but one of the things that I want to talk about is even if you are married, you can establish joint ownership now, right? So what that means is everything that you own, make sure that it's in both people's name, such as your real estate, your bank accounts, that type of stuff. And this means that upon passing of one partner, the ownership then automatically transfers to the surviving joint owner without the need for probate. So establish joint ownership. Another thing, as I said before, number 2 is make sure and name your beneficiaries of everything that you have, your bank account, your retirement account, your life insurance. And if those things, if you do that, you name your beneficiary, that can be handled outside of probate. All right. Now, what are some other things that I have here? Another one is, a lot of people don't know about this one. You can use what's called a POD or TOD. You can use payable on death and transfer on death designations. Did you know that? Well, some financial institutions actually allow you to designate beneficiaries for your bank account or your investment accounts through POD or TOD designation. So this ensures that the bank account passes directly to the designated beneficiaries upon your passing. So use that. And then you can use gift assets, meaning you can gift some of your assets to your intended beneficiaries during your lifetime. So by reducing the size of your estate, you may be able to minimize the need for probate. All right, and then the biggest one that I saved for last, the way that you can do is you can bypass probate by using a trust. A trust. And the first thing you want to do is establish a living trust, or what's called a revocable living trust. Have you heard about that before? A living trust allows you to transfer ownership of your assets to the trust now while you are alive. And then upon your death, the assets held in the trust can be distributed to your beneficiaries without going through probate. So creating a revocable trust is a common estate planning strategy to avoid probate. You want to avoid probate. And with the trust, the individual, which is known as the grantor, transfers all of their assets into the trust during their lifetime, and the trust then becomes the legal owner of those assets, right? And if you want to know more about that, you certainly can email me at dramy@amyhimes.com so we can help you to get your trust set up. And you have to, the trust, then you put those documents directly to the beneficiary's name in the trust document, bypassing probate. All right. So that's how that's done, and it's called a living trust or revocable living trust. And also, you can use an irrevocable trust. What's the difference between revocable and irrevocable? Well, as it says, a revocable can be changed. Irrevocable, it cannot be changed. This is the type trust that once you set it up, it can't be changed. So this type of trust is used a lot. For example, if a couple goes through a divorce, but they still have children, that each might want to have, say, an insurance policy on each other to take care of the kids, and you put it in an irrevocable trust, which means it cannot be changed no matter what, no matter how many times the other person gets married to someone else. That irrevocable trust cannot be modified, it cannot be amended or revoked once it is established. All right. So once assets are actually transferred into that irrevocable trust, you can't change it. All right. So this type of trust is commonly used for tax planning, for asset protection, and trusts can help, again, minimize estate taxes and protect assets from creditors. That's another thing. These trusts help protect assets from creditors or for someone who may try to sue you. And the third type of trust, then this one, and I'm probably going to do, a masterclass on this separately in my private Facebook group on a spendthrift trust. Now, this one is if you're making high income, your income is high, you definitely want to use a spendthrift trust. This is type of trust that's designed to protect the assets within it from being seized by creditors of the trust, and it includes specific provisions that restricts the beneficiary ability to access the trust principal or income, preventing them from squandering the assets or having them claimed by creditors. So this is one of the biggest one, the spendthrift trust. And like I said, I'll do another lesson just on that one to explain that further. But spendthrift trusts are commonly used to provide ongoing financial support to beneficiaries while safeguarding the assets from potential financial risk and irresponsible spending. All right. So those are the pieces there that goes into it. So I talked first about the how to bypass probate. I said to use trust. We also talked, I want to make sure I'm not passing anything. Name your beneficiaries, establish joint ownership, use payable on death or transfer on death designations. You can gift the assets is another way to do that. So that is my lesson today on your financial lesson on establishing your estate plan to keep that wealth with you. All right. So as I said before, my company, we're going back to where we're going to be helping people to set up their trust in January. So if this is something you're interested in and you want to learn some more about estate planning, specifically using spendthrift trust, you can send me an email at dramy@amyhimes.com, or you can DM me and say, I am interested in more information about estate planning, avoiding probate, and leave me your email address and we can send you some information. I hope this was beneficial to you today as our finance lesson was on estate planning and how you can use it to hold on to your wealth. I am Dr. Amy, and I am here to help you reset your mindset, develop your skill set, so we all can become wealth creators. All right. And as I said yesterday, I have created a private Facebook group. And if you are interested in leveling up in 2024, starting a side business to create that extra 6-figure of income, or scaling the business that you already have, I definitely would love to invite you to be in that group. So you can send me an email at dramy@amyhimes.com or DM me with your email address and I will send you a private invite. Remember, this group is only for people who are serious, who either are ready now to get help in that area, or interested in that area, maybe you're an expert and you can be in my group and provide some knowledge to others also. So I'm excited. MJ, hello, hello. Great to see you watching. So I say to everybody, have a wonderful weekend, and I'll see you right back here the next time. Be blessed.